Here we go, Brave Nation. Our first fight of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 5 wins and 2 losses. He stands 180 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 66 kilograms. Fighting out of Bathgate, Scotland. Please welcome Calum Murrie! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 9 wins and 4 losses. He stands 180 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 66.2 kilograms. Fighting out of London, England, by way of Pakistan. Give it up for Mehmosh, the Renegade Raza! Your referee is Raven Saber.
Aesthetically, it looks like Murrie has the distinct height advantage here, Kirik. Touch of the gloves and we are ready to go. There's that Taekwondo base, nice and wide for Murrie. Opens up with the standing lead hook kick, push kick, into the takedown, out on the single leg, gets Mehmosh Raza to the ground.
And he's up.
Raza pops right back up, but can Murrie get those hands together and get that lock? Perhaps a trip takedown. Needs to get that head underneath the chin as Raza, as he's trying to do.
Phil, this is a pivotal moment in this fight. If Bundy can get him down to the mat where he wants him to do, we may end up with a very, very different ending than if it stays standing, reversed on the cage.
That's a nice knee to the head from Murrie, who does have a 3-on-1 kickboxing record, it must be said. Gets that knee shield in, trying to alleviate a little bit of the pressure being put on him here by Mehmosh Raza, who, it must be said, did a great job to get back to his feet.
Phil, I'm liking those stomps to the feet, shades of Marco Huas.
As our friend and broadcast colleague Nola Keefe would call them, dirty foot stomps. Very effective. But good work here by Mehmosh Raza, just trying to stall that early momentum garnered by Calum Murrie.
Interesting, Phil, that Murrie was able to use his height even inside the clinch to make a little bit of room and throw that short inside knee. There's another one.
Now, if you're in a position like this, if you're Mehmosh Raza, are you happy to stay in the clinch, or do you want to separate and try and get some of your shots off, knowing just how well Murrie was able to dictate the distance there in the early stanzas?
Because of what you saw there, because you saw the little giraffe fighting with a head and then a reversal, I believe what the Renegade wants to do is frame across the face, separate, and try a striking game.
Again, both men in this precarious over-under position, tripped attempt, but good use of the whizzer, or good use of the underhook there, should I say, by Mehmosh Raza to keep the fight standing. And right now, it really is just one of those wars of contrition going on right there, Kirik. Both men in similar positions, trying to get the upper hand. And again, whilst it may look like not a lot's necessarily going on, this is really what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
I also want to say, Phil, Bundy is doing a terrific job here. We said he was going to try and take it to the mat. He's doing the very best he can in this regard. Big props, too, to the Renegade for so far keeping it off the mat for any significant period of time.
And now Mehmosh Raza trying to get in on a single leg. Perhaps switch to the low ankle, doesn't quite get it. Reverts again to that single, but elbows being marauded off the head by Murrie there. Murrie really trying to do as much damage as he can in those close quarters as well. Murrie now, is he trying? Does he have the double underhooks? We can't quite see from this position.
Psychologically, Phil, I feel both fighters feel like they're stronger in this position, and that's why they're staying here. It's going to be up to the judges to decide one or the other, but I believe both these fighters are very ultra competent here, and I believe they're very confident that they can win from here.
Murrie trying a couple of times there. He's tried to sneak that knee up the middle from the clinch, and he's been very close with it. Hasn't connected clean, but again, the gentleman here just exchanging positions, and Murrie getting that head underneath the chin of Mehmosh Raza. And as we say ad nauseum in mixed martial arts, where the head goes, the body follows. So if you can control the head, if you can control the head of your opponent, you're at a distinct advantage.
Phil, I'm loving that Taekwondo stance, that side stance you no longer see very much at all in mixed martial arts.
In a position such as that, I fully expect to see him charging forward See, that's the thing about Taekwondo. They can burst forward from these awkward positions, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, when you think your opponent is miles away, he's connecting with something in an instant. Oh,
how often do you see an axe kick attempt in mixed martial arts?
Tries that lead axe kick, following it into the straight, just showing his diversity of strikes.
Phil, we're looking at a fighter who does everything just a little bit differently, kicks just a little bit differently, stance just a little bit differently, and of course, his ground game is going to be a little bit different as well.
That was initially a huge leg kick landed by Murrie, but Mehmosh Raza charging forward now. But you have to say, for a debutant in one of the biggest mixed martial arts promotions in the world, Calum Murrie looks very calm with the spinning back kick into the abdomen.
Absolutely, Phil. I think he's distance managing brilliantly. Again, that's to the benefit of his Taekwondo game. This is not how people normally fight in mixed martial arts. It's actually very hard to find somebody in the gym who will mimic this style, but you are seeing it work right now.
And he's keeping the hands low, and not only does it keep your jab hand out of the periphery vision of your opponent, it also somewhat invites them on. Therefore, he can catch them just as they come forward. Going just underneath the lead leg with that leg kick, and this has been an incredibly interesting first round. And Mehmosh Raza just bites down on the mouthpiece and is ready to swing, and what a first round from both these gentlemen. Incredibly intriguing. You're seeing just how well the Taekwondo striking style of Calum Murrie transitions into mixed martial arts.
Fantastic round, Phil. We're seeing Bundy trying to keep it either in close or way in the outside. The second round is going to be decided whether Mehmosh can keep it in that middle punching range. Walk us through the highlights.
There you see just that quality striking, opening up with a lead hook kick into the single leg, scores the takedown. You have to give credit to Mehmosh Raza for getting back to his feet, but at the minute he's still trying to figure out just that distance striking being implemented by the first Scottishman to compete in Brave Combat Federation.
Phil, fights are very often won and lost in between the rounds. Both fighters have downloaded a lot of information about the other one. The question heading into the second round is which fighter can make the best adjustments. We're about to find out.
For me, looking on in this fight, I think what Mehmosh Raza could potentially do is close the distance and turn it into a little bit of a phone box fight. Fight on the inside. The greatest strikes being utilized by Calum Murrie is his kicking. If you take that away by fighting in a near boxing type stance, you can see big leg kick again by Murrie. Thought about the high hook kick. Nice and light on the feet. Shades of Michael Venom Page in his approach, but gets caught with the shot predicated off the kick. That's what Mehmosh Raza needs to do a little bit more of. Time those kicks, come over the top. With the hands being so low, it does make Calum Murrie susceptible to an overhand.
That first round, Phil, may have been a learning experience for the Renegade. He clearly struggled with that distance management initially. He does seem a little more competent and confident here.
And interestingly, though, we haven't seen much of the jiu-jitsu of Calum Murrie because he hasn't really needed it.
He certainly was looking for it when he was going in hard in those takedowns. I think they were denied. In the absence of that, he switched to his Taekwondo game, which is extremely entertaining and clearly effective.
As we say, an incredible submission specialist is Calum Murrie with 4 first-round submissions. Bravo choke, Darce choke, armbar, rear naked choke. Does have a Japanese necktie in his amateur career. So a real solid submission specialist.
I'm always fascinated, Phil, by fighters who do things just a little bit differently. Not completely differently. This is MMA after all, and there's parameters you have to keep it in. But his ground game, definitely just a little bit different. That Taekwondo-based striking game, definitely a lot different. It's very interesting to watch.
Calum Murrie right now trying to defend against the cage, perhaps trying to circle out, but Mehmosh sticking to him like white on rice, not giving him any space to move. A little bit of bicep control here from Mehmosh, and again those foot stomps. So many little bones in and around the foot that can be broken, thus impeding the movement. And I think that's something that's very intelligent. If he can take away that springing movement of Calum Murrie, he'll be doing very well indeed.
Phil, I'm fascinated to watch Murrie use his reach in the clinch. It's very unusual. Ordinarily, when both fighters are clinched up, they're of an identical height. Height doesn't matter. But he is using his long limbs to throw some knees from the outside into the inside of the legs. It's highly unusual, a little bit informative for me.
He's doing well with that knee shield, forcing Mehmosh Raza to try and step around it. Beautiful job of reversing Mehmosh Raza, but right again, Raza takes the ascendancy. And speaking to Marcus Paul, he said he was surprised by just how strong Mehmosh Raza is. Looks like the smaller man in this battle, but incredibly strong, as his coach Marcus Paul was alluding to.
He's clearly showing to have the greater strength, the greater core strength, greater limb strength against the cage. He needs to do a little bit more with it, though.
Double underhooks momentarily trying to be established by Calum Murrie, now back into that over-under position, and he's doing a good job of rattling those knees into the meat of the thigh of Mehmosh Raza, trying to impede upon a little bit of his movement. But again, it really is just a stalemate right now, and if perhaps Murrie edged the first round, at the minute this round is razor thin.
This is one of those fights where a single takedown, potentially even a single big shot to the head, will win it.
Can Murrie take this to his advantage, turn in, but good use of the underhook there from, may have been an errant shot to the groin.
This is absolutely our least favorite moment of the night, Brave Nation.
Both men sent to a neutral corner.
Renegade is now down on the mat, trying to clear the pain. He has up to 5 minutes. We're going to watch the Green Hill replay. Phil, take it off.
Oh, and there you see it. It does just land flush on the cup. And again, I'm sure there was no ill will or intent there coming from Murrie, but in mixed martial arts, these things do happen.
They do, Phil. I want to say I've seen thousands of unintentional low blows. A couple of times I've seen intentional ones. This was not intentional. It was an accident.
And Mehmosh Raza does have the full 5 minutes to recuperate, to get himself together. Full 5 minutes, which he's fully entitled to a loot of.
I don't think, Phil, there was any conditioning issues with either of these fighters. Sometimes a fighter will take more time than he needs to recover from the low blow in order to get his win back. That's not the case here. I think the Renegade is going to take as much time as he legitimately needs, and then the fight's going to restart. That said, that was a clean shot to the groin. It's extremely painful. It's extremely debilitating. He should not rush back.
And not only does this cause a break in the action, but it also causes an interesting restart. I'd be interested to see where referee Reben Saber restarts this fight from. Does he start it in the open arena, or does he start it from that clinch position that they were both in?
In all likelihood, Phil, he will start them from the open position, which it's hard to say whose advantage it's to. Whose advantage that's to is going to depend on who manages distance the best. Our referee keeping him in the corner as he should be. The degree of severity of the injury is not sufficient to call in a medical professional, but it is, as I said, extremely painful.
Mehmosh Raza ready to go. Calum Murrie apologizing. Referee Reben Saber puts them back in that clinch position.
To come over.
I'm not sure who this is more advantageous for, but it's where the fight was stopped. It should be where the fight begins again. Good work from the referee. And again, Murrie trying to use that whizzer and trying ever so slightly, getting closer and closer with that pop knee. Able to get that knee very high indeed.
I am loving that short knee, Phil. There are 4 basic knees in Muay Thai. The short one comes right straight up to the chin, to the side of the head. It's excellent use of it. Has not landed cleanly yet, but they're getting closer and closer.
Mehmosh doing it well again to get that head underneath the chin of Murrie. But you have to give credit to the takedown defense of Calum Murrie as well. Not just a jiu-jitsu guy, not just a takedown guy, but a very well-rounded mixed martial artist here.
He is indeed, Phil. Given his background, his black belt in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, I had half a suspicion he might even try and pull guard in this fight. He's absolutely not doing that. I think he's happy to stand up, fight from the outside, clinch if he has to.
A NAGA champion in 2018 in the expert division. Calum Murrie does have that incredible jiu-jitsu repertoire of submissions, but as yet we have not seen it. Good knee to the middle again by Murrie.
Murrie trying hard to reach out with those long limbs, clip his fingers together. Not successful yet. Murrie doing a darn good job keeping that head right where he wants it to. Where the head goes, the whole body's got to follow. 10 seconds now, Phil.
The majority of this fight very much played out in the clinch, and it has been Mehmosh Raza who has been perhaps edging it with the pressure by keeping Calum Murrie against the cage. So if you're looking at it in that kind of context, what's going through your head here?
What's going through my head is this is an extremely hard round to decide. It's going to be up to the judges. If I had to give it to somebody, it's probably the Renegade, but I wouldn't blink if it went the other way. Can you walk us through, Phil, this Green Hill replay?
As we say, the majority of the fight has taken place in the clinch. Here you see the takedown attempt from Calum Murrie, well defended by Mehmosh Raza, and the fight very much unfolding in that clinch position. It'll be interesting to see if referee Revin Saber allows them to play as much in the clinch, or if he opts to separate them and perhaps force them into a little bit more activity.
Phil, very interesting. Callum Bundy Murray's corner is so confident of his conditioning, they don't even have a stool out for him. He's standing between the rounds. Very impressive and not at all usual. Got to go back to George Foreman to find a guy who always did that.
It's the guy with the grill, right?
That's the guy, the old man with the grill.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, third and final round of what's been an incredibly intriguing bout. A bit of a chess match unfolding here in front of us. Can Mehmosh Raza up the tempo? Can he land the strikes? Can the submission specialist with that Taekwondo styling get the fight to the ground, or can he continue to pepper Mehmosh Raza with those kicks?
Phil, in the eyes of many, Taekwondo is a dead art. It no longer is an art that works. As you can see here, that is not the case. You can make, like many, many other martial arts, as long as you adjust them appropriately, you can make it work, and that's what we're seeing. Highly unusual, and so far, highly effective.
Trying to come in with those push kicks, those heavy, leaping side kicks to maintain distance, and Mehmosh Raza almost mirroring his opponent a little bit right now, which is a very dangerous game to play. It's something you see in frustrated opponents when they can't quite get a gauge of their opponent. They often mirror them.
As I'd said earlier, Phil, there's nobody in his gym in all likelihood who fights out of this style. It's highly, highly unusual. Certainly there's nobody in my gym. I don't know about yours.
Right now, Mehmosh just seems a little bit gun-shy, thinking, will he get hit with something as he comes in? And it really is Calum Murrie right now who's dictating the flow, the cadence, the pace of this third and final round.
Phil, what the Renegade needs to do is time those shots, pass one, parry one, possibly even eat it, and then rush in as his opponent is recovering from the kick.
Beautiful kicking game being shown. And he is landing those push kicks. They are glancing in on the takedown. Maybe a little bit of a knee coming in there. Nice defensive work from Mehmosh Raza again, showing just how strong he is. Changes the position and is now pressuring Murrie up against the cage. Both men in the over-under position. Double underhooks right now for either of these men would be absolute gangbusters.
They're right above us right now, Phil, and we can see the intense pressure each of them is putting on the other.
Once again, it's a little bit like the story of the second round with Mehmosh Raza initiating the clinch against the cage and landing those nasty foot stomps.
Brave Nation, when you're watching this through the television, there may not appear to be that much going on. When you're so close you can reach out and touch it. Let me tell you, this is brutal. Elbow just landed to the head.
Mehmosh,
and again.
These are big elbows being landed. Mehmosh doing the right thing by trying to protect himself.
Mehmosh's hands are together.
That's a big takedown.
First takedown of the fight. As I said, rubber guard coming and denied, and what a scramble, Phil.
There you've seen glimpses of the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu from Calum Murrie playing around with the rubber guard. Needs to be careful with those up kicks. Can't connect with the head of Mehmosh Raza, who is a downed opponent. Mehmosh Raza right now staying all the way down. Needs to be wary of that high guard that might creep up from Calum Murrie.
Phil, very wise of Mehmosh to keep this fight on the fence. It does slow down the guard game noticeably in mixed martial arts if you can keep your opponent jammed up against the fence.
Calum Murrie with a foot on the hip of Mehmosh Raza, and that more often than not is a trigger that something may be coming. Maybe trying to sneak in a butterfly for her, and again playing with that rubber guard. Switching the mission control position right now, and it's a wonderful holding position while you're trying to set up another submission. Showing his flexibility and dexterity here as the 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu man.
Mehmosh doing exactly what he should do. He's posting up to a high tripod, driving his head forward.
And right now, with 90 seconds left in the third and final round, can the Scottish man make something happen? Or can Mehmosh Raza stay in this guard position and land those heavy strikes?
just as Mehmosh was able to stop those takedowns thus far, he's also been able to shut down this rubber guard attack, but it is scary to be inside of.
And Mehmosh Raza doing a great job of pressuring Calum Murrie against the cage so that he can't get his angle for the likes of a triangle, for an omoplata, for a go-go plata, which the rubber guard being a wonderful starting spot for a submission such as that.
Also have to say, Phil, I'm sort of mesmerized by Calum Murrie's leg flexibility. He may have developed it in his Taekwondo background, and he certainly has refined it studying 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu.
Mehmosh needs to square those hips off just a little bit more for my liking, so he can't allow Calum Murrie to create an angle. Get those hips nice and square so that your opponent can't be side on getting that submission.
Under 30 seconds now, Phil. We're down to short time if there's going to be a submission in this fight.
Can the submission specialist pull something out of the hat here? Mehmosh Raza needs to keep those strikes nice and compact, or he's going to get a arm stuffed down for a triangle.
Both fighters scrambling to try and get some strikes in. Elbow coming down, elbow again.
Mehmosh
heavy pressure at the end.
Turning it up here in the closing
and it's
stanzas.
Over.
What a fascinating opening bout here in Combat Kingdom. Brave Combat Federation 43. Both these warriors embraced and gone the distance. Shared 15 minutes of fighting ferocity with one another. It goes to the judges. Both these men have my respect and admiration. Let's check out some of that action. Mehmosh Raza landing his strikes, trying to get inside of that tricky kicking game. Here we see devastating elbows landed by Murrie. Interestingly though, it was Mehmosh Raza being the fighter who was initiating the clinch and actually initiated the takedown, showing just how confident he felt in his ground game.
Exactly, Phil, and what's going to go through the judges' minds as they're deciding here is who initiated more action, whose will be done. I can make an excellent case 29-28 for either fighter here. They say never leave it in the hands of the judges. Somebody's going to believe that hard in just a couple of minutes.
As we say, scores just being tabulated. You see Marcus Paul in there with Mehmosh Raza, and for my money, this is the best version of Mehmosh Raza we have seen inside the cage carriage.
It is indeed. He just ran into somebody who, as I said, does things a little bit differently. It takes a while. If a person comes out in the conventional stance, throws 1, 2, 3, calf kick, low kick, it's very easy to get a sense of their timing, of their reach. But when somebody has that side stance, that in all likelihood no one in his gym has, it takes longer.
Both these men prowling the cage. This is perhaps the most anxious moment that both these men will have in the fight, when you're waiting for the decision of a closely contested battle, the scores to be tabulated, the judges to render their decision, Carlos Kramer to come into the cage. And right now it's taking a little bit longer than usual to get the scores together, which is indicative of a very close decision, Carrick.
Split decision would not surprise me in the least. As I said, in my head, I can make 29-28. Great argument either way.
But it's great to see both these men chatting, both these men talking away, and just as I say that, the roaring lion makes his way into the Brave Arena, meaning that we have a decision. Carlos Kramer, bring it home, brother.
All right, Brave Nation, what a way to start Brave 43, right here in Combat Kingdom. After 3 rounds, we go the judges' scorecards. Your first judge scores about 29-28, Raza. Your next judge scores about 29-28, Murrie. And your final judge scores about 30-27 for your winner by split decision. Out of the red corner, Mehmosh the Renegade Raza!
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Split decision, 29-28. Murrie, 29-28. Mehmosh Raza, and 30-27 in favor of Mehmosh Raza. A fantastic win, a fantastic battle. Split decision win for the Renegade. It